Conversations with Leanne. There you go.
Wow. Did we
You
manage to
finally
get on?
decided to let me do it.
Yeah, a little bit better late than never.
Absolutely, absolutely. So welcome, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Mandy Stevenson, and I'm a kinesiologist, cellular health coach, and spinal flow practitioner, amongst a few other things. And this is my regular Redox Conversations. And today I'm so lucky to have the beautiful Leanne Jones joining me for a conversation about redox. Welcome, Leanne.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. So Leanne, would you like to introduce yourself, where you're from, a little bit about yourself, your background?
Sure. So I live in Perth, Western Australia, so the other side of the big continent that is us. Probably takes me longer to get to where you are than it would to get to, overseas, to some places overseas
Like
anyway.
Bali or somewhere nice like that?
Yeah, somewhere nice like that. I am a Bowen therapist and cellular health mentor as well. I have been with this amazing company for nearly 7 years. So in August it will be 7 years. And I have been a Bowen therapist for almost 4 years. So uh, Bowen therapy was actually born out of my love for ASEA. So a little bit about me.
Wow, that's very interesting that's the way you've come, through this one. So we're almost 20s. I've been involved with this amazing company for 7 years as well. So
Well,
I
yeah.
was actually very end of 2017, beginning of 2018. So
Okay.
yes, it was sort of, I think I actually enrolled on the New Year's Eve, but it didn't go through until the next day. So somewhere around there, but and never discount somebody at Christmas or New Year, because that's often a time when they make some interesting decisions.
Mm.
Yeah. So this amazing breakthrough redox, we're just both so passionate about it and blown away by the capabilities, what it does, and not to mention the amazing company that's behind it. But we'll talk a little bit about the company a little bit later. But can you give us a bit of a brief overview? Everyone's heard my overview of what redox is, so I'd love to hear your perspective on how you explain why we're so passionate. What is it about this redox stuff?
Well, I suppose the reason I started and the reason I continue are two separate things for me. The reason I started was I was a carer for my mum and
Ah,
got introduced to this product for her health issues. Um, but the way I explain it to people is that our potential to make these molecules inside our body actually decreases by 10% every 10 years, right? So you would have probably told everyone that as well.
mhm.
But the beauty, well, the problem with that is that as that happens, it declines. Our cellular health actually declines, and we're not able to reproduce these at a rate that's going to sustain us for longevity and to be well in longevity. So, by being able to replenish something that's so native to the body is actually something that we are then able to keep up with today's stresses, right? So you
That's
would
a
know
big
with
one.
yeah, so you would know with kinesiology and with spinal flow, and as I know with Bowen therapy as well now, is that the stress that can be produced on the body is quite significant, whether that be a mental, emotional, toxic, environmental, anything, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to reproduce what is natively made by our body that actually addresses those stresses and then be able to supplement, I think is the game changer in this.
Absolute game changer. And I think, the fact that it's actually totally native to the body,
Yeah,
that's that's pretty rare. I mean,
it is.
blueberries are natural, but they're not native to the body. I always love that one because, people sort of think, oh yeah, I don't produce blueberries in every cell of my body,
Yeah.
but you do produce redox molecules. And it just blows your mind when you understand that the potential. We use the word potential because
Mm.
electricity is measured in potential.
Yes,
So we all know what it's
absolutely.
like if you're in a brownout, and hate to think of these poor people in Queensland at the moment. There's probably going to be a few brownouts up there where the lights go half down and you're in this half darkness, or the battery's running low in your torch and you turn your torch on and there's only half a light, and that's what happens when our redox potential in our bodies runs down too.
Correct.
So people are wandering around with this half potential all the time, wondering why they've got no get up and go.
Mm.
As my mum
And
used to say, me get up and goes, got up and went.
I got up and went. I love that. Yeah, the get up and goes got up and went. And I
Yes.
think also it's really important to know that we can be feeding our body the right nutrition, right?
Yeah,
And supplementing
absolutely.
with really clean, clear supplement products. But if the redox potential's not there, it's not getting into the cell, right?
Yes,
Know that. So
absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
not being absorbed as well as it actually could be.
yeah. And even if it's absorbed into the cell, which is, as you say, it doesn't usually happen, the cell doesn't have the energy to do anything with it either. So,
Correct.
in the
Correct.
gut or wherever.
Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? So obviously we have this amazing blue bottle, of course, which you
Yes,
can
we do.
see dotted around and behind me everywhere, the magic blue bottle with full of redox molecules. So the breakthrough, of course, was that they were able to stabilize these molecules. So,
Mm.
I mean, it was Nobel Prize winning in the 90s.
Yes, I know.
It was,
And
we think we're in
and you know what?
25 now, and we
Yeah,
still haven't, people are still, what's redox, haven't heard about it, sort of thing.
yeah,
Even the medical professions
correct,
haven't heard
correct.
about it unless it comes across their desk in another way.
Yeah,
That's,
it is now in universities though. So
yes,
that's
yes.
great because it's actually starting to come out. All right. Remember my nephew doing at the University of Murdoch. Was doing a biology degree and they actually had redox science in there. And I couldn't believe my eyes.
Wow, wow. That's
So that
awesome.
was really good to know that it's actually out there and coming into mainstreams
Mainstream.
conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, having myself, I've worked in the agricultural sphere for 35 years, and I know how slow the agricultural mainstream was to take on anything new and biology and soils and things like that. It was all about what fertilizer can we put on, and we'll spit out all these agronomists to promote fertilizers. So it's a similar sort of. I don't know why I go from one of these cutting edge things to another,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
seem to be attracted by this. But it's cutting edge. But this is just it's such a
Mm,
game changer for people. So we've got the
yeah.
amazing blue bottle, and now we've also got, and was it 5, 6 years after the blue bottle was, after they stabilized it in there, they developed Renew 28,
Yes.
which is everything skin.
Yes. Yeah.
Originally designed as a cosmetic, but it does lots of other things. Got any ideas, any more tips of what this amazing Renew
Oh,
28
yeah.
can do?
So the main one of the main reasons, and I'll go back to my mum when I first started using this, um, was she couldn't take a lot of pharmaceutical medication because it actually made her very, very unwell. One of those medications actually helped her with a bone condition that makes your bones look like Swiss cheese. And that medication made her ill over a period of a whole year, and she would no longer take those injections. So by putting that renewed 28 on her back every night before she went to bed, as well as intensive redox serum directly on her spine. So this is going back, 6 years ago. We actually stopped her from fracturing in her spine
Wow.
because she was continuing to fracture. So, it's not just about, skin, it's about what's
Wow.
under the skin as well that it can actually penetrate and help. Mm.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's pretty amazing,
That's a
but
tip.
it's phenomenal for first aid as well.
Oh yeah,
Sort of, my
insect
husband.
bites, cuts,
Yeah, blue
stings.
blue bottle stings. I mean, we're walking on the beach
Oh,
the other day, and there's heaps of blue bottles on the beach at the moment. And I know my granddaughter came in, and she'd got a blue bottle sting around her arm, and we put this on it. And it was amazing. It was almost instant, that it actually calmed it down and stopped the sting so
I
much.
have a little story about that one as well. When we first started using this product, I was outside gardening and I ran inside and I said, Mum, the wasp has stung me 3 times. I said, what do we use? Vinegar. What? She goes, just get the Renew. And I went, oh.
Oh,
Oh, I completely forgot. I was just in such a panic because they hurt, right? And
yeah.
the Renew
We
helped. So,
forget. We do. We
yeah.
do forget that that's the go-to. So it's first aid. It's
Yes.
first aid in so many
Sunburn.
different ways. But now we have an amazing new product, Sunburn, phenomenal. I
Yeah.
was actually at a friend's got a coffee van on the side of the beach, and she's an ASEA distributor. And I thought what she needs is to be putting this on the bench, saying because with the blue bottles along the beach and everything else
Yeah.
there, this is going to be the best thing. It would just move from there.
Yes.
All the people coming to
Absolutely.
buy a coffee and scratching and ouch and all the rest of it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
But now we have a fantastic new product, of course.
The
This
blessing.
one, that one was first aid. This one's hurt aid.
Correct.
Yes. So, Redox Gold.
Yes.
Redox molecules infused with molecular gold. So, I mean, you've probably come across it as well. Gold has been used for centuries in
Yes.
healing. I think one of the big areas that gets used is depression and also rheumatoid arthritis, still
Arthritis.
gold injection.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
to combine those two, so do you know how they came up with using the gold? Have you been in, with their universities?
I know that it was a 3-year study that's how the gold came about, and that it actually targeted that inflammation pathway, right? The NRF2
Yeah, yeah,
pathway.
wow, yep,
So so I think during that 3-year study, they tried a lot of different
yeah,
catalysts to carry that redox potential for that pathway, that specific pathway to there. But yes, very interesting. And just on that gold note, it was actually my mum that said to me, "Oh yeah, I remember all the rich people having gold injections when I was younger, because mum suffered from exactly what you mentioned,
wow,
and
okay, yep,
the more along the lines of like the joints and bones and muscle issue that you get,
yep,
and she actually suffered from that same condition, and that's what the rich people used to get gold injections.
wow. I think
So
they're very wary of gold injections, but what an amazing way now to actually infuse the gold as well into
correct.
it. Yeah. So, and I think we all know that glutathione's the master antioxidant.
Yeah,
And, the university studies blew them away when they did these tests because they found that it increased in a normal cell, it increased glutathione production by about 70%. In a
correct.
compromised cell, it increased it by 280%,
80%. Yes.
which is
Yeah.
just phenomenal. So, the unis were sort of saying, hang on a minute, that can't be right. We have to redo this test. And they did it 3 times just to prove it. So,
Yeah.
you
And that
know,
was off their own bat as well. It
it
wasn't,
was.
they weren't being paid to do that. That was off their own bat. They redid the testing and redid the testing and redid the
Yeah.
testing to make sure that they knew that what they were doing was correct. Yeah.
And it's
Very,
fantastic. That's what's so exciting is now the universities are actually knocking on our door, on ASEA's door to say, can we do research on your amazing technology?
I love
Because,
it.
yeah, rather than the other way around, it has been for quite a few years. So, um, how did this come about that this is not sold as a pharmaceutical?
I love how you're asking me the questions and you know the answers, right?
Well, everyone's
You're just
heard my
testing me. You're testing me.
heard
I
my
love it.
stories, haven't they? So I just, thought this is going to switch
Well,
it
it
all.
actually was brought in front of the pharmaceuticals when it was a biotech company still, I believe, and they actually did want to purchase the technology,
Yeah.
but they were going to shut it down, right? So there were people that were already on this product, and it had gone from word of mouth to word of mouth, word of mouth. So I think it was over 130 people were actually on this product, and some of them were having really significant results, and some
Mm,
were
mm.
having had really serious health conditions, right? And they
Yeah.
wanted to basically shelve it and shut it down. So, well, the partners of ASEA decided that that wasn't going to be the case, and after deliberation, decided that we would go down the path of sharing it with people and doing this beautiful business that we have the opportunity to now grow. So we're very blessed, you and I, Mandy, because we actually
Awesome.
have the opportunity to see this in the hands of many people and it can make such a huge and impactful difference.
Yeah, yeah. And And that is what the exciting part about it is. We've both been in business. I mean, I started my kinesiology before I learnt about ASEA, just almost all at the same time. And I knew then that there was something else. And I called my business Synergy because I had a couple of different modalities, and it was about the synergy of the modalities coming together to provide the best opportunity for my clients.
Mm.
And then this came in, and that just, I've always been on the lookout for something. The magic pill, I guess everyone's always on the lookout for the magic pill. And I guess my story that, I had an autoimmune condition for about 15 years, and I was really, I thought I was quite well because I found some really good supplements, and we've already addressed that fact that, you can take some really good supplements, and yeah, and I thought I was well, and then wham bam, I had a heart attack out of the blue, and it was just, so I was on the lookout then for something that was going to protect me in the longer
Yeah,
term. It was going to heal. Well, no, the body does the healing. We know that. We've already addressed that one. That we do, the body doesn't, the body does the healing. All we're doing is giving it the right resources. So all I wanted to do
correct.
was find something that had the right resources to protect me or help my body protect itself from those things that are, likely to um, knock us flat,
Yeah.
which that one did. So, to find this one, it was just a real game changer for me because I think that's sort of, and
And
I just sort of felt then I was not looking for a business at all.
no, me either.
I've been in that before, and I didn't want to be involved with that business that people do get a bit concerned about. But then when you think about this amazing technology and you realize that the only way that we're going to get it out into the world is to share it by word of mouth. And I mean, we do it all the time with movies and books and everything else.
Yeah,
So why not
exactly.
with something we know is profound and
We actually do it with supplements and recommendations for health practitioners and everything else. So this is just another recommendation, isn't it?
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely.
Not
And
saying
whether,
here, do this, buy this, have
no,
that. It's,
not about
this
selling.
is what I recommend, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Up to you.
yeah, yeah. And the beauty of that is we're not selling anything
No.
either. I mean, I guess you can if you really want to, but the idea is the perfect business is something that people will take continually. You might recommend a movie and they'll go to the movie and that's it, done.
Yeah.
Or, but if you can recommend something that people are going to take on a monthly basis, that's a really good
Yeah.
business model.
Yeah. And it's not about selling, it's about sharing something that works, right?
Absolutely.
We've seen it work personally in our personal lives, for our clients, for our
Yeah,
friends and family. So, and it fits naturally into people's lives. It's something that actually it can integrate really, really well into your daily routine. And it's not something you have to go out of your way for. You don't have to go out of your home and go and see someone. You
no.
actually have
Yeah.
it there and then in your hands, right?
At any time
And
of
it
the day
gives
or
you the
night or whenever.
yeah. And it
Yeah.
gives you the power over your own health and well-being. You're not leaving into the hands of someone else, right, to make those
No.
decisions.
No,
Mm.
that's right. Because the body is just so amazing that it actually has that innate ability, but that innate knowledge, incredible
Mm.
knowledge that we try and overwrite at times, thinking I
It
know
wants
what's
to,
best for my
yeah,
body.
it
Well,
wants
yeah,
to
now
heal
we
itself.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So talking about that, then we've just talked about the amazing Genesis, and what they did was they actually, gave it to people to share. But in so doing, the company gives us a very nice little thank you check
It does.
for
It does.
recommending it to people.
It does. It's
And
perfect.
I think I know that somebody here has just been very successful, stepping up into a new rank,
Yeah.
a new level, um,
Yes.
and a new executive level, which is a lovely term, actually, isn't it? So
It is nice to be an executive associate of a CR.
that's
Never
exactly
thought that would
right.
happen.
No.
And
Well,
it's
how
not,
did it happen?
yeah,
This is
well, it's not that it's I never intended, as you said, you never intended this to be a business, right? And
yeah.
I've never been in a distribution model like this before. I have taken products from distribution models like this before because there have been some great products out there. But I have never been in this situation to have this type of business. So in the very early days, it was really easy because people would just look at you or look at my mum and go, "What are you doing?" You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you get along, I think people don't recognize the changes in you as much because you've
Yeah.
stabilized and you're looking well. Even though people say, you've got really nice skin, you've got this, that, it's not the same. But I continue to share it. And I think that this is where it started evolving was you started getting together with people with like-minded mindsets as well. And you have that resilience to overcome challenges and you learn from your failures, right? So
Yeah.
this model is not just about
Mhm.
getting this into the hands of people, it's about your own self and building yourself up as well as you go through. And I think that's a really big catalyst for me, is that building up and that learning and being courageous enough and stepping outside of your fear
Mm.
zone to
Yeah.
actually
Big
be
one.
able to share it with confidence, clarity, and conviction. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that happened for me over the last 6 months. It started progressing, and finding people that are in that same mindset as you, that want to look after their health. They get the vision, they understand the clarity of it, they understand how this can impact people's lives, and how not only are they bettering their own lives and getting a gratitude check for it, they're helping hundreds of thousands of other people by just sharing it to a few people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. In a sick system, it's not a health system, it's in a sick system,
Yeah.
we are
Absolutely.
able to help so many people. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a practitioner, we know we can sort of, help 100, maybe 200 people one on one,
Yeah,
what we
correct.
do. But the leverage that this actually provides is that you can actually help thousands of people by
Yeah,
just sharing an amazing technology. That's what blows me away.
I know.
It's the butterfly effect, isn't it? It's just one little flutter
Yeah.
somewhere, having the confidence and the clarity, as you say, to talk to somebody else about this and about the opportunity of helping a lot of people. Because most people will say that their philosophy is about, um, I want to help people.
Yeah.
But do they really? Do they really have the confidence, or are they able to talk to somebody about, I've really got something that could possibly help you?
And
You
you
know?
know what? And that's where I think this model comes in really well, because we have those tools available for people to actually be able to step outside of their comfort zone,
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
able to build themselves up. And I always say that, yes, Bowen is my passion, but ASEA is my purpose. They go hand in
yeah,
hand, because
yeah,
having a purpose and getting it out in the world, um, like you said, one on one, we can only see one person at a time.
yeah,
But to
yeah.
be able to share it with one person that then shares it, and going, it's a domino effect, exactly the
It is.
same as what our redox molecules are doing in our body,
Yeah.
right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's God, there's so many things we could talk about and explain and things like that. Where do you start and where do you stop? But this is a true legacy because, by being able to share it with a few people who will share it with somebody else. And you sort of think of, I mean, I know the amazing Alan Noble who shared it, as he said, in the cracks of his day because he was building a financial business. And for
Mm.
somebody that was doing their masters in finance to embrace this particular model, and the likes of Robert Kiyosaki, who sort of
Oh, yeah.
says that, this is one of the best business models there is. Why would you exchange hours for dollars, as we do as practitioners? And why not, build something that's going to be lasting and have leverage and residual and all of those
Mm.
fantastic things. But I suppose it's an entrepreneur's mindset, isn't it?
It is an entrepreneur's mindset, and often an entrepreneur's mindset also, you need, success requires a little bit of resilience, to be able
Yes.
to overcome those challenges and learn from our failures, and and having consistency and showing up every day, and being able to step into leadership roles and being able to serve others by adding so much value, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, entrepreneur, it's not an easy route by any means.
No.
It's easy to go
No.
to work,
No,
let
it's
someone else take
simple.
care of all the worries, right?
Yeah.
But it is, yeah.
It's simple, but it's
But
not easy.
it's, yes, correct. Simple but not easy. But
Yeah.
fascinating, and learning curve, and amazing, like yeah, I wouldn't change it now. I wouldn't
Well,
be working
no.
for anyone else.
And I think our mentors say that it's a self-development program, cleverly disguised as a
Oh, yeah.
business. And it
Oh, I
certainly is.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too, because
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by self-development. Could never get enough books. I hate to show you my bookcases and
Yeah.
they're all spread across my desk everywhere. I just love self-development type things and getting into that. So this was, yeah, this combined both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just absolutely love it. But it's an entrepreneur's mindset as opposed to a business owner's mindset,
Yes.
because a
Correct.
business owner still exchanges hours for dollars, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas an entrepreneur, and I don't know who said, I can't
They
remember
they
who
think
said,
outside the box, don't they?
they do,
Entrepreneurs.
exactly. And they'd rather be earning, 1% of 100 people's effort than
Yes.
100% of their own effort. I
Correct.
can't remember who
Correct.
said it, but it's another great quote, isn't it?
But
So
if you can help people build up their own leadership quality, what you're doing is you're helping build people, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so people that are within your organization, you're asking them to step up and help build them, help build what they're doing. So you're still, you're still working, but you're doing it in a fun way because you're working with people and you're working together and alongside and uplifting people, and which is something I've always enjoyed doing. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
looking back, it's something that's always been present, but never in this capacity.
Yeah, yeah, no. So it's a massive change from a lot of the things that we've been doing. I mean, I've always been, sat around the table with farmers and run workshops for farmers and things and taught them various other things. So I've always enjoyed teaching and running those sorts of
Mm.
workshops as well. So, but it's takes something else extra on top of that. So it is a matter of developing that mindset.
I've just realized we are so alike. It's not funny because my
You've
so
only just realised that, have you?
no, I know, because learning is a lifelong thing for me.
Yep.
So I
Continuous learning.
realize it's the same for you. You have a farmer's background. My brother's a farmer. There's so many synchronicities. I think you worked and became a cellular health coach with Dr. Gary Samuelson. I've done
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Um, like you've gone on and done studies and been somewhere totally different and come back into a space of healing. Same as me.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how it follows you though, isn't it? These sorts of things, because and I'm a little bit older than you. That's the big difference here.
Not
Like
that
a
much, right?
couple of decades older.
Oh, no, no.
Yeah.
I'm
And
56, so
sorry,
yeah. I'm
what,
56.
56?
Yeah.
I'm 72. So it
Well,
nearly
that's
is
not nearly a couple, less than a couple, Mandy.
less than a couple. All right, okay. But that's all about what it is up here, isn't it? Between
Yeah,
the years,
correct.
it's not about the age. So I can't remember where I was going with that one. Oh, yeah, that's right. We had a health food shop in a small remote town in the late 70s, which was
Wow.
very much ahead of its time. But I learnt so much. Blackmores was just stepping up into the supplement business then, and they used to run conferences and workshops and things like that. So I used to go to everything I possibly could, dragging along my little, my number 3 baby who was still being breastfed
Wow.
at the time. And then number 4 baby, decided I want to study science, so I studied biology. So I did that with 4 young kids. So, these are the things that we do, but I've always had that passion since then for human health or
Yeah.
natural health, actually. Even as a 6-year-old, I wanted to be a doctor, but I'm pretty pleased I didn't go down that route now. I'd much rather be involved in natural health. So, yeah, it's fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, redox, everyone reacts or responds. Reacts definitely the wrong word, because they don't react to it, they respond to redox in very different ways. And I think this is a question that we often get asked is, well, why can't I feel it? Why isn't it
Yeah.
happening for me straight away? So
Yeah. So every body is different, and your body will make its own way on the way to use it, right? When we're taking a supplement, I always say, or a even topical, even with I found people having uh, using the Renew 28 topically. I've had people having significant changes with just that. But the body will take what it needs, and it will do what it needs to do, right?
yeah, yeah.
Not we don't have control of that.
No,
We have no control of that.
trust
So
it.
we might want it to go and work on our sore knee, but in fact, you don't realize there's an issue with one of your vital organs, heart,
Mm.
lungs, brain,
Mm.
and it's going to work there first, regardless of whether you're putting that gel on the knee
Yeah.
or where you want it to go. So I think, and it takes people a lot longer to realize what's going on in their body because people aren't body present.
Yep.
And I
That's
think you
so
may have
true.
found that in your
So true.
your
Yep.
profession as well,
Absolutely. Yep.
is people don't recognize the subtle changes. When you are body aware and body present, you actually recognize the subtle changes and you can keep a track of it. So I have a lot of people, and this is not, I'm not ditching men here, but a lot of men actually aren't body present when they come for a Bowen treatment or they're using a supplement or something to that effect. For
Mm.
instance, my brother did not feel a change when he was, and he's a farmer. He's 6 years older than me, so 62. But he did not feel a change for 11 months after
Yeah.
beginning the ASEA products. Although I saw the change in him, and so did other people around him, going,
Yeah.
what's he
But,
doing
but
differently? But he wasn't body aware.
but it's very subtle as well, and they
And
can't
it
pick up
is
the
very
subtle
subtle.
nuances, the subtle changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the irony of that is when I have, now that I've had my hot little hands on Redox Gold,
Yeah.
I've been actually using it, and possibly you as well, Mandy, in my practice. And people have coming in for actual treatments too. So, they've got, discomfort in their shoulders, in the neck, in their back, on their knees.
Mm. Mm.
And I've said, do you mind if I try this before we start our treatment? Um, so that I can have a little play around and have a little gauge with it. And I would say probably from the people I've treated, 80% of mine have seen a change in 15 minutes.
Yeah. No.
And probably 50% of those have seen a complete change from whatever discomfort level they had to zero. The other
Yeah.
ones have had a really significant change, and some of them have actually needed more applications over a period of time to see that change. So it's not the same for everyone.
No, that's so true. So true.
Yeah, yeah,
And we've seen so many amazing testimonials that, people have had very rapid results with relief, which is
yes,
great. And you can feel, you would be the same, you can feel the muscles softening
yes,
um, on application, even if they're not feeling that relief, but you can feel it externally, you can feel those muscles softening. I've had a problem with my hip that has stopped me playing golf, and because it gets really sore when I walk too far. So,
yeah,
just not too sure. I don't think it's an injury there. I think it's just a little bit of aged wear and tear. But I've been consistently using the Redox Gold for probably 6 weeks now
yeah,
because it's been out in Australia for a month on the 6th, but we were lucky enough to get a bit beforehand.
we were.
And I was expecting, instant results, that it was going to fix it straight away and I was going to be fine. It has done, and along with massage and a couple of other things as well that I've been doing, but it's quite dramatic now. Even when I do walk, I'm actually able now to get up to my 7.5 to 10,000 steps a day again without
Great.
without it worrying me, because I don't want to push it beyond when it does start to get sore. I want it to maintain it before it gets sore. And it's about using it daily and using it right around the area as well. So,
How many
this
times a day do you use it?
only twice a
Yeah,
day, unless it's worrying me, and then I will put it on again, but it's usually only twice a day.
I'm going
Um,
to ask you a question, Mandy. So
ooh.
I know, right? So because this targets specifically the inflammation pathway,
Yep.
we know that inflammation is actually a good thing, but
Yep.
when is it a bad thing?
That's an interesting one, isn't it? I could have flicked that one back to you, couldn't I? Yeah. So we all have
You
our
could.
opinions on those
Yes.
things,
Yeah.
don't we? Inflammation is a good thing because it's a signal to the body to release glutathione and various other different proteins, etc., to address whatever it is that's causing the inflammation, anything with an itis.
Yes.
However, because we don't often have enough redox balance in our body, we end up with more oxidative stress than the reductions. So
Yeah.
we need the antioxidants to cope with the oxidative stress, and it becomes chronic. So inflammation does become chronic because we don't have enough redox molecules and the balance is not
Mm.
there. That
So
is
by
so
applying this and by drinking our redox molecules and by doing this, we're giving our body the tools to actually address all those symptoms that
absolutely.
cause these issues, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. But we still also need to be in tune with our body, as you say. We need to be body aware, that inflammation is a message, that
Yes.
discomfort is a message to the
Yeah.
body, and to take note of what it is, but also take note of the fact that you can actually do something about it. So,
Yeah.
because a lot of people just throw their hands in the air and said, "Oh, I've had it for so long now, I'm going to give up with it." And
Mm-hmm.
I know Dr. Maureen Hayes has had an issue with her hip too, and she's a bit like me. We just if it is a hip replacement that we're looking at down the track, I'm going to put this off as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
If it, who knows what it might do in the longer term, but I will be avoiding the knife at all costs.
Yeah.
I just believe that any sort of surgery, and I don't want to knock the amazing modern medicine, the ability of what surgery can do, but I believe that any type of surgery is such an insult to the body that it just stirs everything up, and the body, it's really hard for the body to recover from an anesthetic and from surgery.
Well, speaking of that, my brother's actually, I think, staved off surgery on his knee, just with the Renew 28. So it'd be interesting to see how the
Yeah,
gold will actually impact that as well. So
yeah, yeah.
you can imagine he's a beef cattle farmer. He's on the land, and
I
they
know.
do
I know.
wine
My son
grapes.
is still too, and he's yeah.
Yeah, they're hard workers, really hard
Yeah.
workers.
Well, we left the farming. Grant always said that he was going to try and retire from farming in his 50s, around 50. And when he did, the doctor said to him, "You've got the back of a 70-year-old." So
Mm,
we sort of had to do something else. So moving to the coast was the best thing for us, of course. We never looked back. But he still suffers with, pain, aches and pains in the back. But he's 74. So
yeah,
we
yeah,
sort of expect something in older years. But I often say to him, where would you be if you hadn't been taking for ASEA for the last 7 years? You'd probably
correct.
be crippled, probably wouldn't be able to. I look at a lot of our friends that are still farming and, yeah, they're not in a good way.
No, they're
So,
not.
yeah,
Very
it is.
punishing
You
on the
need to be
body.
physically strong and well to be a farmer. So it's a
Mm,
young man's job these
that's
days.
it. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess the future is very exciting for us, for you.
Oh,
Already at this amazing silver executive level, the future is looking exciting. And I think you've got a little reward trip coming up soon
I
too.
have. I'm so excited. My first reward trip in 7 years with the company. And it's something that I never expected because I don't have to pay for it.
Woohoo! The
So
company is paying for
I
it.
know a
Wow.
company's
Where
paying
to?
for it.
Where
To
to?
Bali, to the Grand Hyatt in Nusa Dua. Now, I've never been to Bali. Everyone goes to me, but you live in Perth. Why have you never been to Bali? I
Yeah,
have
good
never been to
question.
Bali. So I am excited to go. And I'm actually taking one of my another business builder. She's in my line, and she's excited to come with me because we have so many. It's also a learning trip, right? So it's also
Yeah,
another
yeah,
self development and leadership role that
yeah,
we can step
yeah,
into. And I think I'm just so grateful that I'm able to do that. And I think if anyone has the opportunity to go for something like that, it's so worth it. And I also
yeah.
know our friend Jess will be there as well.
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
we get to hang out as well. And there's a few other people that I know that are going as well. So it's going to be great. It's going to be
Oh,
fantastic.
rub shoulders
Um,
with the successful people too.
look, what's that saying about proximity?
Being close to the
Being in
centre.
proximity. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
being
Glenn's
in
say.
proximity to people that hold the same vision, that are leading, that are part of this global movement. It's just going to amplify and clarify my own reasonings why I'm doing this as well, I think.
Yeah. And the people that are there walk the walk. They don't just talk
Yeah,
the talk. So they
exactly.
really walk the walk.
Exactly.
So that's what's going to be amazing for you. I've been to one. I went to Vanuatu. It
Oh,
wasn't an
nice.
ascent. It was a reach for the beach that they ran a few years ago,
Oh, wow.
and we managed to score a few days in, and it was just phenomenal because you've got time to relax and enjoy as well. and get the teachings at the same time. And it's the conversations in between the sessions that are so amazing because, as you say, everyone has the same passion and purpose,
Mm, mm.
to want to help
Mm.
get this
And I
out to
think
the
that's
world.
the beauty of the business that we're in is because you're not just saying it's not just about a business, is it? It's about the
No,
purpose. And
absolutely.
we have
Yeah.
a great, ethos.
Oh,
So that
yeah.
company has built a wonderful ethos. And this business, the potential for it is limitless, right?
Yes. Yeah,
We're in
absolutely.
so many
It's
countries
hard to
already.
comprehend.
I know. We're
Yeah.
in so many countries. The product is now globally distributed and
Yeah.
more coming along, and they're continuing the research into redox. So I'm excited for the next generation. I mean, redox gold is this first next
Yeah.
generation. Imagine what else is possible.
Yeah, they've targeted one pathway, one genetic pathway amongst all those thousands of genetic pathways to for this one for inflammation. That's the pathway
Yeah,
that
yeah,
targets. So that's just it is mind blowing as to where they might take it next. But you've just touched on the fact that this company has such a heart and soul in it, and it's beautiful. And then it's totally debt free. They own their own facility for
yeah.
manufacture and everything else, and
I've
research
been there.
facility. Oh, have you?
Yes.
Oh, stop showing off.
29 2019, I had to go and see it for myself. When you think
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go, is this
yep,
for real? Like
yep,
what,
yep.
are these people for real? I went over a convention at Vegas. I took my youngest son with me, and then we flew to Utah as well, because there's a few of us from here. And then we flew into Utah and went and saw the head office and the production facility. Oh
Wow.
my God, blew my mind.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Well, did exactly the same thing in 2018 because
Yeah.
thought I want to meet this Dr. Gary Samuelson myself.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to see because people had said to me, "How do you know they're not just actors in those videos?" I
Yeah, I know.
I don't. I mean, I know they're not, but I just wanted to go and meet them,
I
and rub
know.
shoulders
It's
with
just a
Alan Noble and all
curiosity,
those
isn't it?
amazing people, and put this Alan Noble on a pedestal, and now I'm talking to him once a week as a close friend. He's just
Yeah.
a phenomenal company, phenomenal support that we have, and everything else. So, I hope you don't mind. We have gone over time, but it's been a great
Oh.
conversation.
I expected that.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. I thought, yeah, no, there's no limits. Limitless it is. It's limitless. Yeah. So I guess
You know what the best, sorry, keep going.
for anyone who is watching, I guess I wanted to sort of just go over the fact that there's probably six reasons why people are here. And one is that they have a personal health challenge.
Yeah.
And that was probably my original reason that I had a personal health challenge that I wanted to address. And so, yeah, I'll try this. The second reason is that they have a loved one's health challenge, and I think that was
That's
your
the reason
original
I
one.
started.
That was
Yeah.
you, a loved
Yeah.
one's health challenge. I
Yeah.
also had my son had a serious horse accident,
Oh.
and the horse fell on him while he was still in the saddle. So he was
Mm.
underneath the horse in the saddle. So you can imagine it was touch and go there for a while. And I was going to have a facial with my daughter-in-law, and we were introduced to this technology then. And we both came away saying, this could really help Pete. This just might be something because he was on some very serious painkillers and wasn't happy
Yeah.
with that. So she enrolled and then she enrolled me. So we've sort of been together with this whole program all the way through. And it had a profound effect on him initially too, that he was able to really ease back on those painkillers. Rang me within a few weeks that he was able to
Wow.
cut
Wow.
right back on them. And so you may have a loved one that has a health challenge.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you might just want to maintain peak wellness.
I've got a lot of people that do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Mm.
smart. I mean, people who come to us as the practitioners that we are, they're interested in maintaining wellness. They're not
Correct.
necessarily that sick. They just really want to maintain their own wellness. So,
Yeah.
maintaining peak wellness is a really vital thing. So, I used to have a drawer full of supplements.
Same.
So I have a couple now. I have a couple of my favorites that I still stick with. But basically, it's the ASEA, the magic blue bottles on the kitchen bench, and it's there morning and night. And I'm not going to move it off the bench because I just, I remember it that way.
Yeah, me
So
too. Me too.
maintaining peak wellness. But the other amazing thing is why they actually formed ASEA in the first place was for athletic performance. That was
Yeah,
what they
so
were
you go
looking
to
at.
that. Yeah.
Nothing to do with all of these other incredible things that it's done.
No.
So, I know there's a study where these mice ran further, faster, longer.
Yes.
And that's what people are doing. It's, and I found that myself because I like to ski. I haven't skied for a couple of years, but it was only about 2 years ago, and I was skiing with my grandchildren, who were
Yep.
all ski for Australia. They're pretty hot. I can't keep up with them, don't worry. But I started when I was 5,
Wow. Good
so I've
work.
always skied, and I love my skiing. It's my element. And but I used to always have to stop and go and have multiple cups of coffee after not after a couple of runs, I'd have to go and have a rest, a coffee or a whatever, because I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
couldn't maintain it. And then I realized that I'd actually skied all morning and hadn't had a break. So it was just after I'd been taking ASEA for 4 or 5 years, it made me realize that it actually built up my own athletic stamina that I didn't have before. So,
Yep.
it's pretty amazing for athletic performance.
It is. It is.
Anti-aging, who
Oh,
doesn't
yes.
want that one? Anti-aging, that's right. Well, look at both of us. I mean, absolutely. But
You've got,
the reduction in redox molecules that you mentioned very early in our
yeah,
chat is the aging process.
correct.
So, by replenishing those molecules, we are really starting to turn back that aging clock or slow it down.
Slowing
Yes,
it down. Slowing it
slow
down. And we want to live longer, better.
better.
Not
That's
necessarily, it's not about vanity, but it's about living our body living our longer better. So we don't end up
absolutely.
with all
Yeah,
those that chronic
yeah,
illness
yeah.
and disease. Yeah.
It's about
Yes,
quality of
quality.
life, but also, if everything is looking good on the outside, you have to imagine that that's what's like on the inside
Yeah.
as well. If
Yeah.
you're all wrinkled and wizened up on the outside, that's what it looks like on the inside too. So,
Yeah.
we can actually do something about that. So anti-aging, and of course, the sixth reason that people might be looking is the fabulous business opportunity. So, I mean, what sort of a difference has it made to your life having this as a business opportunity?
Well, it gives me now the ability to, if I want to actually, and my mum's still with us, so I won't be traveling, but that's one of our life goals with my husband is to travel around Australia and
Yep.
not just travel, but live, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
outback areas and stuff like this. So this opportunity is a business that goes with you, isn't it? It doesn't matter
Yeah.
where you are.
Absolutely.
You can actually do this business. You can be out in Ayers Rock with it, or in the middle of the desert. As long as you've got a satellite above you that you can tap into, you could actually do the business online.
Yeah.
Um,
A satellite and a phone.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's the residual income that comes from this, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you're building and you're creating a organization that actually is sustainable. And the exciting part is it's only just beginning. We're
Yeah.
only just beginning with ASEA. Like that has the potential to just be, mind blowing. And the fact that we have the support from
Yeah.
people to
Yeah.
help with the business, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I love the analogy that a breakthrough goes through the ridicule phase first, intense ridicule
Oh yeah,
phase, and then it goes through acceptance, and then it goes through an explosion. Where it
yeah,
is actually, and I think we're only just sort of getting into a certain amount of acceptance out of the
yeah.
ridicule phase, because there was a lot of that to
There
start
was a
off with.
huge amount of
So,
that. Yeah,
but
salt water from Salt Lake City, and
yeah,
yeah,
that's right. All of those things, and it's a scam, and it's a this and that, and
yeah,
and they still pop up on Google. So if anyone wants to do their research, don't do it on Google. Go to Google Scholar and look up redox molecules or redox
yeah,
signaling, and
yep,
you'll actually see a lot more research and positive stuff there, and understand because a lot of the research talks about oxidative stress and reactive oxygen species, and it can appear to be a negative, but what they're actually saying is that it's an imbalance. There's not enough antioxidative action in the body, and that doesn't mean taking antioxidants. That means stimulating the body to
to
develop,
create.
to create more antioxidants within.
Mm.
So And you talked about a residual income. I love that fact. Without having
Yes.
to write a book, because I can guarantee you that doesn't make you a fortune. In my little book in the back.
Just a plug.
It's a plug for the book. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a business card on steroids, but and if you want a residual income from, say, rental income, you've got to have a fair bit of capital or be prepared to go into debt to do that sort of thing. So, this is a residual income. The people that we first enrolled in ASEA 7 years ago still get their monthly order. So
Correct.
the business has paid us, I don't know how many months, 7/12s or 84 months now we have been paid for those people who have improved their own wellness. And that's
Yes.
all.
How
So
amazing is that,
yeah,
And it's the fact that we are helping people take
yeah,
control of their health. I think
yeah,
that because we're both those people, like we are that type of person, right? To have a business that's actually helping people to take control of their health
to control
is
themselves.
phenomenal, and
Do ourselves out of a job. That's the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
idea.
but that's okay.
That's good.
In
Yes.
the at the moment we're creating that freedom and the impact and having that purpose to do that along the way as well, isn't it? So
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely. Having
excited.
that
I'm
purpose.
excited to be
Anyone,
part of
anyone
the
think
bigger.
we're a bit passionate about this whole thing?
I know, I'm
I can't
excited.
understand why. I'm excited too. I'm excited. So I
Yeah.
guess we better probably think about winding up.
Oh, we better. What's the time? Oh,
We've
we're
got five. It's
way
five
over.
to yes, 55 minutes so far. We had a bit
Sorry.
of a slow start.
Yeah.
So I guess people have three different, and you know what? I didn't press record at the beginning of this, so it's just as well it is going to Facebook because I can get it from there.
Thank
God.
goodness.
So people actually have three choices. They can
Yeah.
sort of say, as they have always when we present them with this opportunity or with this amazing technology, no thanks, it's not for me. And that's fine. We're not about to try and convince anybody. However, they may know somebody who could really benefit from this product. So I
Mm,
do urge people to consider that and to consider that we almost have an obligation to share it with people. It could help, even if it's not for
mm,
you.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
that's the first thing. You can become a customer and
Yep.
simply buy it at wholesale price or retail price if you wish, but at wholesale price. And the company looks after all the money and the company looks after all the delivery and things like that, which is amazing. That's what I love.
Yes.
Having
Yes.
run
Great.
businesses myself and being a business manager for larger organizations, I love that I don't have to do that side of it. Or you can actually join us, join with the passion and the purpose here and create an income
Yep.
and spread the word because
Yep.
yeah, this is how amazing it is. So get in touch with the person who suggested you watch this live on Facebook or the replay or the link. I will put it on my YouTube channel, so there will be a link eventually.
Perfect.
And we'll both put some links in the comments and people can actually contact there. I will also put a link in there for the Redox Gold so people can have a look at what Redox Gold is, but also some of the real Redox results. That's pretty
Oh, yes.
amazing. If people want to hear other stories other than the two of us, who've got lots of
Yeah.
stories, but there's some amazing testimonials there.
And they're real.
And they're real. Yes, they
Met,
are
I
real
know
people.
a lot of the people on there. I've met them.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I know.
Mm,
And it just blows your mind, doesn't it?
it
And they're
does.
only little short 10-minute testimonials too. You don't have to sit there for an hour like we rabbit on for an hour, but they're only
Oops.
short testimonials. Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to hear from anybody who's been watching. I don't know whether there's any comments. I can't follow the comments and put things in there while I'm actually talking. So this is us. So thank you so much, Leanne. It's
Thank you, Mandy, for having me on.
been an absolute pleasure, and I really look forward to hearing about your fantastic trip. So
Oh, I'll let
we'll
you
have to
know.
do another conversation afterwards, and you can share some of the gems that you got from your trip.
That'd
So
be wonderful.
when is it? When do you go?
End of April, I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice. Oh, that
Looking
should be
forward
nice
to it.
weather then too. It might be a little bit cooler
Oh,
in
yeah,
Bali.
humidity doesn't do much for my hair.
Does it make it curly or straighter?
No, it just goes fizz.
Oh, does it really? I don't think mine will ever go fizz. But
Just
hey,
fizzes
everyone's
a
in
little
the
bit.
same boat. Everyone's in the same boat, and you'll be in and out of the pool all the time, and it won't matter
That's it.
anyway. So
Yeah, won't even
that's fine.
worry.
Who cares? Yeah.
That's
So,
it.
all right, lovely. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining me. It's been
Thank
been
you.
wonderful. And as soon as I've got a link, I will send you a link as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Mandy.
Okay. Thank
Bye for
you.
now.